Hello everybody and welcome to the third video in my art series on how I'm going to get good at art in 1 year. So I guess for these 2 weeks I've been kind of studying a lot more, not really doing illustrations, just studying, going back to the basics, kind of going back to the fundamentals, especially with like anatomy and stuff. Some skeleton studies, so this one would be from the front, from the side, and I did some more studies on stuff like the ears, the feet, just some hair from the back view, and then some more poses, I guess, heads and head turns. You can kind of see. Usually when I do these studies, I like to break down the shapes. So for anime, I guess, usually I like doing the ribcage as one circle, and then the hips or the pelvis as like another circle, kind of sideways, like an oval shape, egg shape, oval shape. That's kind of what I like to do. You kind of see it over here, it's the same thing. And for that, usually it just helps with keeping everything intact, keeping the anatomy like realistic in proportion according to like a human skeleton would be. I know anime is not really, it's like heavily stylized, so everything is a little bit different, you know, but still, we still do follow some of the same principles of normal anime studies or anatomical studies. So this is what I like to use. I usually just do a cross section too. You can do that if you want. Well, and then for this middle, where the chest would be, I put like a cross. That usually helps me just remembering where everything is. So that's usually how I do it. For the face, it's the same kind of deal. You have one line in the center showing where the center of the face would be, so like following the nose right here, and then for this it's kind of following the eyes. It can be under it, below, it can be kind of whatever you want, but I usually just have it as like a general guide. So like in this one, it's just kind of following the general direction of it, and that's basically it for this one. Next one, did another drawing. This one is Soyo from Bang Dream MyGO. For this drawing, I kind of wanted to do a more dynamic pose, so I tried to make it like where this, I don't know if you guys can see, but like this would be like the floor, right? And then she's on top, kind of like that. When I draw like a pose like this, I usually just like have the canvas rotated like this, and I actually just draw it where the face is just towards you. I find it a lot easier instead of doing it upside down, right? If you're drawing upside down, it's kind of difficult to kind of see and make sure that everything's right. So I just turn my canvas, flip the thing, do whatever you need. So for this one, I kind of just did the same thing as I always been. I constructed the body and then I just I sketched over everything. I did the sketch and then just started rendering. For this one, I kind of tried something different. I've been trying recently. I've been using white. Just pure white as a highlight. Like right here. And here you can kind of see. And over here too. Let's see. Over here, probably easier to see. Right there. Overall, it makes the scene look very illuminated. I guess that's kind of like the word. I also find that it makes doing the lighting easier, so you can see where the light and shadows would start and end. So like over here, in here, when you see it in black and white, it's really obvious. Or at least for me, it makes it more obvious to see where your shadows should be. I guess that's all for this one. Next drawing, more studies, more figures. Full body this time though. Not that common coming from me. Over here you can kind of see, trying to do more foreshortening. I always wanted to try drawing like this in this kind of angle, but this one I kind of tried doing the opposite, where I tried to make it bigger at the bottom. I don't think it turned out as good as this one over here, but still, it's always fun to try new things. More figures. You know, this one's kind of the same thing. More simplified. Usually, you can do ovals, pillows, or rectangles, whatever you prefer. Really, I think it's all the same as long as you can get the general shape of what you're going for. Same thing here. More dynamic poses. And then I just did more studies on clothing, so like bags, winter clothing, uniforms, and shoes. I don't know if you noticed, but even on this one, I've been avoiding drawing feet and shoes. So in this one I tried practicing a bit more, just so I can actually draw them. And I don't have to hide them like this one. Next one. For this one, nothing crazy, just got some images from Unsplash and tried looking at the perspective and the lighting. So you can kind of see here. This is just kind of the outline, so you can kind of see the edges of the room, the perspective, and the windows. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is like the light shining through. It kind of look like this. All from photo reference, so like nothing crazy. Over here is just on the living room space. So a small table, couch, a cabinet, a storage space, I don't know. Window, desk space, and some plants. Over here is like a kitchen. Here's the refrigerator, some stools, counter, oven, microwave, stovetop, you know, all those things. And then over here, nothing crazy, just more perspective, like from one perspective point, or one vanishing point, two vanishing point, and then three over here. Over here, these are just studies of animals. I just was looking in Unsplash again, just kind of getting the outline of for different types of animals and shapes. Over here, some birds, rabbit, dolphin, duck. I think this was like a red panda or something. This is another duck, a hamster, and like a squirrel. Usually I just try to get like the general shape, so like for this you can kind of see how I use just straight lines just for the animal. Over here too, on this one, just very straight lines. They're not even connected, you don't even have to connect them, but overall I think it gives a really simple impression of animals. Just been trying them out because I kind of wanted to get better at them. Always good to try out new things, especially if it's something that you haven't done before. And this is like the first time in a long time that I've drawn an animal. This one, nothing really. I just drew like a figure in the body, and I just tried changing the clothes. So I was looking for this new book that I got, and I was just looking at the clothes that they had. Just looking through the different sections of outfits of school uniforms. Over here too, shoes. They're kind of rough, so ignore them. But yeah, trying to get better still. You can kind of see. Another drawing I did. This is Tomori from Bang Dream MyGO again. This time I kind of wanted to have foreshortening with the arm. Kind of have it in the front, and have her in the background with like a lighting from the back. So these are like the light sources. Same thing with the white light, and I wanted to give it another shot. I guess that's kind of it. Not much to say. I kind of, looking back on it, I kind of wish I liquefied the face maybe a bit, moved it in just a tiny bit. I feel like before it was way too big, so lower it, liquefy it just a tiny bit, and then I think it would have been a lot better, but whatever. Not much you can do. Just reflect on it and try to get better. for next time when you draw again, right? So, before, after. But I think it still looks pretty nice. Next, more studies. You know, you can go for Pinterest or whatever you prefer. Looking at studies and breaking down the shapes of different poses that you want to draw. Same thing with the face. You just have the cross, have it at different angles depending on where you're looking. Like this one, you can kind of see follows this curve. This one follows this curve, depending on where the face is facing. So like here would be like the nose, right? That's it for this one. More perspective. 1. You can kind of see with the points. 1, 3, 4. This one's really weird. Kind of when you have 4 vanishing points, it really creates a distorted effect. Always wanted to try that one too, but you know, kind of difficult, especially if I can barely do other perspectives. Another 2 point, 1 point from top view, and 3 point. This one's looking from like the bottom, like if you're looking at a tall building, and this one's the opposite, like if you're on top, like on a helicopter, looking down on a tall building, I guess. Over here, more lines. I'm addicted to lines, guys. Just put them everywhere when I'm done a drawing, and I don't want to fill out the rest of the spaces. You just fill it out with lines. Next one. Okay. This one's kind of sus, but I was trying to draw feet, and I was like, I can't draw feet. So this is my attempt to learn how to draw feet. I've been breaking it down into this kind of shape. I find it easiest for me where you have one here. This one's like this, and then that. Here's from like side, from the back, legs. You know, you can't draw just the feet in midair. You gotta add some legs afterwards, right? I tried to doing like showing the angles that you can kind of do. So like, I guess usually your feet would be like this, where it's straight, and you can kind of bend it, like at a 45 degree angle. And then if you really push it, you go even 90. That's basically it for this drawing. This one, just a bunch of sketches. Front pose 3/4, side another 3/4, kind of from top down view. This one is just more line practice. It's pretty simple exercise that you can do. You just put some dots around on the page, you can duplicate them, do whatever, and then you can just connect the dots. I think it really helps with getting better at line precision. Just go like that. Undo if you want to. You can do whatever you want, as long as you're trying to get better, right? Yeah, that's basically it. Nothing crazy. Just line practice. You just draw lines, you connect the dots, you connect them to as much as you can, and you try to aim for accuracy. Next, circles. Try to make it consistent. But always good to draw circles, especially if you draw like faces all day or like bodies. They'll always follow like this kind of shape. A lot of things can be broken down into like circles and just normal lines and curves. So more poses, same feel. This one is a little bit different. I just did more sketches. Kind of did trying for the full body this time. Feet as well. No shoes, I guess, but you know, hiding the hands like always. But and then over here, just have like ribbons and stuff, ribbons and accessories, and then a backpack. Next, more figures, same deal. Kind of see over here too. This is like a simpler version if you want to try. Like two tubes or like 2 cones kind of merged together, or like a pillowcase. I kind of like imagining it as like a pillowcase, you know. I think it helps when you're drawing bodies. I think you either use this one or you can use like the one I was doing before, like a rib cage. Next, more of the same. I feel like only this one is interesting, where it's like this part, this top half, is closer to the camera, and this one isn't really. It's like in the background. Same thing over here. More bodies. And then more clothes, more uniforms. Over here, I drew it mostly in grayscale, and then I just applied a gradient map. Just to mess around, I got this new auto action. I think it's pretty cool. Turns it into pixel art. It uses binarization or something, and then has like a new curve. I think it kind of reminds me of like old style games. And then finally, for the last one I have, just more clothes. But this time, I've been focusing on the folds and how they work, and the shadows, and how light would interact with them. So you see over here, same feel. You can kind of tell how, like, depending on what like the clothing material and kind of stuff, how it will change. I guess that's all I have for this week. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week, and hope to see you again in another video. Bye bye!